Alright, welcome once again to another video. This is also gonna be me just rambling on about stuff. And this is about quality versus quantity, which I think kind of plays a big part in the fact that most of us, I suppose most of you who are watching this video, also tend to buy relatively expensive but well-made stuff. So this is basically a part of the discussion about how to, I think also a environmental discussion about how to, in the future, buy clothing, keep your wardrobe, and so on and so forth. So I think one of the main points of like the quality versus quantity, where I'm definitely in favor of quality, is that I think one, you keep a more tight wardrobe, assuming the fact that you don't necessarily have enough funds to always buy the most expensive and always buy a lot of expensive stuff. Instead, you just buy less but more qualitative stuff, which I think both lets you keep the value. The clothing keeps its value much better than like basic H&M Zara stuff. And also it allows you to flip it more easily if you're like buying the right stuff, which is kind of on trend. And yeah, I think in that way it also becomes more environmental, since you tend to buy less due to the fact that it's more expensive. So I think that's quite a big plus of buying like quality instead of quantity. However, I'm aware of the fact that not all fashion is qualitative. You can actually find a lot of fashion which is heavily overpriced, like some basic t-shirts, which is just as good as a t-shirt from a more like well-priced brand, but it's just hyped due to the fact that it's this designer who made it, which of course also pays homage to the designer himself and also to what he's doing. So that's a whole nother discussion, but I still think that like buying quality in the end is better for the environment. Also the fact that usually it tends to be better quality, that means it lasts longer. I usually get super irritated when I have some clothing that I've grown really fond of and then it just breaks immediately or something like that, which I've tried quite a bit with some cheaper alternatives. So now I just tend to like save up enough money to buy the expensive alternative, taking in mind that it's not too expensive. Also, this whole sweatshop discussion on where clothing is sourced from, I think buying this kind of more qualitative clothing means that it's not always, I don't think you can always say that it's not made in sweatshops, but typically it's not made in sweatshops, and that's a big plus. So I'd say like instead of buying your regular slim sweatpants from some brand like H&M or something, like save up a bit of money, buy something which has some design value, has a story behind it, and at the same time is qualitative. And then instead of buying like 4 pairs, just buy 1 pair, like a pair of Acne Studios or a pair of Maison Margiela or something like that. And you can then you can go on the hunt for like grabbing the piece cheaper than it is like paying full price, paying full retail. And then of course I'd reference you to look at like my video on how to buy clothing cheaper, or like buying it off Grail, something like that, secondhand. Also I think secondhand adds into that, kind of cancels out the fact that you buy cheap stuff because it's secondhand, you know, somebody else has been using it. So I don't know, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing, I think. Yeah, I think that was about it. So not necessarily to say that H&M and all of those brands that they make bad quality or something. Like the clothing, I think in a way the clothing just isn't the same as if you were like buying more high-end stuff, and not necessarily high-end either, just qualitative stuff. So yeah, I guess that was about it. Oh yeah, and I'd really love to hear your guys' opinion, if you do have one, on the matter. Yeah, thank you.